Great League is back, and if you tapped on this video, you're probably looking for a good team to run to reach whatever goal you're trying to reach, whether that's rank 20, ace, expert, or even legend. You tapped on the right video, because today I'll be showcasing 5 incredibly solid teams which perform incredibly well in the Great League. Now remember, a team is only a vessel of your trainer's skill, so instant success is not guaranteed, but master any of these teams and you will most certainly reach the goal you're trying to reach. Also, if you end up enjoying this video or you find it useful, please consider leaving a like and a sub. I don't usually post this type of video, and those two things really let me know I should consider making more of them. Also, if you've got a team that helps you hit legend, post it down in the comments below. Sure, it might help someone out. Team number 1 is Vigoroth, Pelipper, Marowak. This is a team I really enjoyed at the end of season 7. I used this team for like a week or two, and it pushed me up all the way to my season high rating in season 7. I really enjoy this team because all 3 of these Pokemon are very, very flexible. You don't really get stuck in hard counter matchups most of the time. Mainly Vigoroth and Pelipper do extremely well if they have a shield or energy advantage, and Marowak is just a really good core breaker. Now this team does kind of function like an ABB team, with Vigoroth being like your only anti-Bastiodon and also the best Pokemon versus Stunfisk, though all 3 of these do have good play against Stunfisk, but you'd rather have it on Vigoroth, of course. But mainly Bastiodon is an issue, so if you don't see Bastiodon in the lead, you usually want to switch out to your Pelipper or your Alolan Marowak. Though most of the time Pelipper is the safe swap here, because Pelipper with a little bit of energy can beat basically everything. Its hardest counter is like Bastiodon, but if the Bastiodon is not Excel, you get to 4 Weather Balls, you KO it. If they are Excel, unfortunately the 4 Weather Balls do not KO. I already made 3 videos about this team, I think. 2 where I lead Vigoroth, and a 3rd where I lead Shadow Hitmonchan, which is also a good option. Basically any fighter that has play against both Altaria and what's it called, Azumarill, I think it works fine in this team. I've seen Surfetched in the lead also works. A team ran by a friend of mine in Nidoqueen's, one of his favorite lines, I think, so that's another option you could consider, Surfetched in the lead instead. Now in this battle, I did lead my Vigoroth into a Metachamp, but because of the Pelipper safe swap, I was able to chip down his Azu, and they have Skarmory in the back, which is really, really nice for me. Now, can my Vigoroth plus Marowak finish this off? We will have to see. This is gonna be very, very close. I think I have a move on Marowak on very, very close. Oh no, I think I can remember this battle. My opponent thought I had a move on Marowak, so they didn't dare to throw their Brave Bird, but that's why it was over. That is a great game. If you want to see this Bastiodon game, you gotta check out the video in the description below. If you've been following the channel for longer, this team should be very familiar to you. Azumarill, Double Ghost, Alolan Marowak, Sableye. Very solid. This is what started it all. This is my first ever Twitch livestream I did. I was running this team. I created it at the end of season 2 when Marowak and Sableye, especially the purified variant, were still pretty spicy. And this team pushed me up all the way to rank 5 on the end of season 2 leaderboard. So that's some history for y'all. That's where it all started. And this team still works really, really well these days. There's still a lot of people hitting a legend with this squad every single season, which is so cool to see. There's also like a couple videos on this channel about this team as well, so link this down in the description if you want more information. But the basics of this team: Azumarill is your main anti-dark, anti-Azumarill, so you're gonna wanna run play rough on that for sure. And then the second move is actually up to you. If there's a lot of Bastiodon, if you're seeing a lot of Bastiodon, go Hydro. If you don't see Bastiodon, go Ice Beam, because Ice Beam is a really nice utility versus grass types mainly, which could be a pain in the ass in the lead. But anyway, they have two ghost types in the back, which of course are weak to both Azumarill and Dark. So if you don't face it in the lead, you want to switch Sableye. And Sableye is so incredibly good with energy. If an Umbreon swaps in, double return, they have to use a shield. If Azumarill switches in, you can bait him, hit him with the return. If you hit a return, you win that matchup. You can switch lead. And once Azumarill or the Dark type is out of the way, Alolan Marowak is just a really, really strong core breaker, which can sweep the back if there's no Dark type or Azumarill or a different water, which Sableye also does a good job luring out. In the match I'm showcasing here, I actually ran to a double charm line, which in general is a loss for this team. Because like a Alolan Ninetales can just sweep both Sableye and Azu, but since I managed to catch a Psy Shock on my Sableye, might actually be in a good spot here, because I'm gonna be able to return this Obstagoon, and then I have a move stored on my Azumarill as well, so this is gonna be very, very close actually. Gonna throw a return right here, but we have a spinning ball of death. Oh, come on. You know, one thing that has never changed throughout all this season is lag, you know? Lag and Azu double ghost working are the main factors that have stayed constant throughout all these seasons. Alright, well, that's a great game anyway. Again, video about this team is in the description, so check that out if you want more information. Team number 3 is a new team I haven't shown on the YouTube channel just yet. Umbreon, Pelipper, Nidoqueen, preferably Shadow Nidoqueen by the way, but regular works just fine. I have shown it on the Twitch channel already, however, and done a couple sets with it, and it performed incredibly well. I'll be showcasing it on the YouTube channel tomorrow as well, so if you want to see more analysis on this team, press the subscribe button and you'll be notified when it comes out tomorrow. Anyway, this squad, I'm leading it with Umbreon, with Psychic actually. You can go Last Resort as well if you want a little bit more coverage against the opposing Dark types, but I like Psychic because you hit mainly the poison types harder, and if you happen to face a fighting like Machamp or Toxstroke, you can hit it with the Psychic as well, though they really aren't that common. And if you face a fighter in the lead, you gotta switch out anyway into your Pelipper. That is the safe swap in this team, and like I've said before, Pelipper, like with a little bit of energy, can beat basically everything, and yes, that's why it's incredibly solid as a safe swap. And in this squad, it usually lures out like a Skarmory, because that is the most common answer to this thing. And if you lure out a Skarmory, like Nidoqueen is incredibly safe in the back. Umbreon and Nidoqueen are just an incredibly solid core as well, like a really solid duo. Of course, Nidoqueen beating the Charmers in the fighting types really hard, which are the things that Umbreon loses to. So just a very solid duo combined with the best safe swap in the game makes very good team. Next team is a pretty new one I created at the beginning of Season 8 because I was getting sick of all the Nidoqueen Sableye cores, and Diggersby is the best core breaker for that duo. It destroys both of them, and then I'm combining it with Pelipper as a safe swap. I know, it's a third Pelipper this video. I actually didn't realize it until just now, but man, Pelipper is just an incredibly strong Pokemon and cheap. And you know, when I was deciding on what teams to showcase this video, I wanted to bring some more cheaper teams because I know some of y'all are struggling with Excels or like very limited Pokemon. So a Pelipper is just a very easy to get, cheap Pokemon to run, and it's incredibly strong. It is one of the strongest Pokemon, if not the strongest Pokemon in the meta right now, in my opinion. And then again, a Froslass in the back, because Froslass is just an incredibly solid closer with really good synergy with Diggersby actually. Only thing it really struggles with, this core, the Diggersby Froslass core, is like Azumarill, but with energy and teamwork, Azumarill is just fine. Like these Earthquake really hurts, and a Shadow Ball from Froslass also really hurts. The way this team works is if you have a bad lead, you usually just want to go into Pelipper, get shield or switch advantage, usually shield advantage, and if you get shield advantage, Froslass can just sweep in the back. This is actually the line I'm facing now is Azumarill double ghost, so the line I showcased like 2 teams before this. And well, generally that should be a loss for this squad, because of course Marowak beats Frost, Azu beats Diggersby and Frost, and Sableye is very good against Pelipper. But because Froslass is such a monster, yeah, it can take this out. Again, there's a video of this team already, and I'll put it down in the description if you want more information on this solid and very fun squad. This is honestly probably the most fun team I'm showcasing today. Yeah, one Fire Punch on this Azu doesn't KO, but the next one should, right? Unless this is a Hydro. That was my bet, that I didn't run Hydro Pump. Most Azumarill don't run Hydro Pump, though that is definitely what I would recommend with that team. Anyway, Fire Punch on this Azu. It's a great game. Let's move on to the next team. Team number 5 is one I once called my best Great League team. Venusaur, Sableye, Stunfisk. Just, it is incredibly meta. It's incredibly meta. Kind of a boring team, but it works. It works so incredibly well. Venusaur, Stunfisk core. It's a really solid duo. Basically, nothing that can beat it consistently. And then Sableye is just the best safe swap in the game. Solid core, best safe swap in the game. You've got a really good team. Multiple videos on this team as well, so if you want deeper analysis, definitely go look into the description. But the basics of this team are bad lead, going to Sableye. Against some leads, like if you have a really hard lost lead, like a Skarmory, or an Altaria, or what else? Like an Alolan Marowak, you usually want to try to grab switch with Sableye, which a lot of the time you're able to do because Sableye is an insanely strong Pokemon. And if it's a softer lead loss, like a Hypno, like in this game, you just want to grab Shield Advantage, because Shield Advantage, Venusaur and Stunfisk are really good, especially Stunfisk. I mean, we all know Stunfisk, it is a ridiculously strong Pokemon. Shield Advantage, just basically nothing that can beat it. You're gonna see in this game, there's actually gonna be a Scrafty in the back, and Stunfisk can take that out. I'm very surprised that my opponent didn't bring in Scrafty as well against this. This line is also kind of an ABB style, because basically the hardest counter for Stunfisk is like a Scrafty, or like a Machamp, but Machamp is way less common. So if you don't run into a Scrafty in the lead, usually you want to try to preserve your Venusaur, a Scrafty or an Obstagoon. Those are very difficult for this backline. So if you don't run into any of those in the lead, you usually want to try to save your Venusaur, or fighter in general. You either want to grab switch or save Venusaur. And then Stunfisk is really strong in the back. But look at this. I had some energy on Stunfisk, and it can just take out the Scrafty. It just shows you how strong this freaking thing. And this team, what I was trying to say before I accidentally abruptly ended the recording is that, you know, we got really hard countered in this game with Hypno versus Venusaur, Scrafty versus Stunfisk, and Azumarill versus Sableye. Still managed to pull it off, and just shows you how incredibly strong this team and each individual Pokemon are. So definitely one I'd recommend if you're still climbing. I said 5 teams, but I'm throwing in a 6th bonus one, because this is my absolute favorite team I've ran this season, Empoleon, Cresselia, Dragalge. I did showcase this team for one video. It was just supposed to be a test of Dragalge. It was one set. The first set I did with squad, I ended up going 5-0, surprisingly, because I wasn't expecting this team to do so well. And I ran this team for a bunch more sets and even days after it, and it did incredibly well. I wouldn't really recommend the team though, because I don't know why it works. I really don't know why it works. I think it's a bit of a weird playstyle with the squad, but if you feel comfortable with these 3 Pokemon, definitely consider running it, because it is a surprising team, and being surprising is definitely a big advantage in Go Battle League. Alright? Now, the way this team generally works, you've got Empoleon on the lead, which is your main Stunfisk / Bastion answer, which both Cresselia and Dragalge struggle with. Most of the time, when you have a bad lead, you want to switch into Cresselia, which will lure out Stunfisk or Bastiodon. Cresselia still is like a decent matchup there, it can get them quite low, and if they're low, Empoleon can farm it down, and Empoleon has really good coverage with its charge moves, like it can hit basically everything for neutral or even super effective, especially like its hardest counters, ground types, fighting types you can hit with Drill Peck, ground types you hit with Hydro. So, you know, really good coverage versus your counters, and if you've got energy, like right here against the Machamp, you can Drill Peck them and they have to shield or they die. So I think that's why this team works. But the problem is, you just lose to double steal. If there's a Stunfisk and a Bastion in the back, you lose. There's no play, alright? So if you consider running this line, make sure you're not doing it in a period of time where double steal is coming. And the way I've seen it work with double steal is sometimes incredibly common, and then sometimes it's just nowhere to go, nowhere. You just see it nowhere. So in a periods of time where it's nowhere, run this team. If you see double steal a lot, drop it. It's not worth running. Alright? Anyway, that was the final team I have to showcase for you today. Hope you enjoyed this video. Good luck in your climb. We see you next video.